blade. That's the meme also.
Yeah.
It's very important you get that glowing blade in.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not in the game, but I think
he's
RTZ
here in
knows.
spirit, you know. Whenever where EG goes, thoughts of RTZ follow.
Yes.
Whether or not he's actually officially tagged up.
So
in
last
the game.
band's coming out. What do we think are the choices here for Evil Geniuses? What do Alliance need? No supports. Obviously, they have the two that they have already. Brute Mother probably by Bulldog, Sven probably by Lotus. So it's really just the S4 hero again. And, you know, Puck's probably fair ban after that game. He didn't, he didn't take over the game, but he had some very good plays, obviously. He didn't take over the game like S4 is kind of used to doing.
S4 did well considering what a terrible start it was, but he was not the reason why they won the game.
No. He had some very good plays, though, and I think an S4 Puck ban is certainly fine, but he is a wide hero pool. I mean, again, this guy is obviously one of the best mid laners. I mean,
we have seen a little bit of S4 Ember. I don't think Ember's that good against Trowel Prophet because it needs a lot of farm, takes a while to come online.
I'd be afraid of the Gust too, also.
Yeah. And they do have some lockdown for it. What else does S4 play? It doesn't really play too much Invoker.
I would say Mag if there wasn't.
Oh, Mag,
Gust
yeah.
And
good wave clear. Mag Sven is really scary.
Yeah, Mag Sven could be scary.
It's a little. It might be it's not greatest matchup against Timbersaw. If Timbersaw ends up going mid though.
Maybe something more like a Quap might be fine too.
Yeah, Quap could work. Orchid Carrier, burst damage, so you can kill off Drow Ranger quickly. A hero that can take advantage of the Brood.
Deal with a Timbersaw.
And it's more of an S4 go-to hero.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Anything else?
That's really all that's coming to my mind.
Bring up that hero list, Mott.
All right.
I can't alt-tab. They'll fire me.
I'll have to go to the Dota 2 wiki, check out what's going on over there with the heroes. But yeah, I mean, right now I'm thinking of those heroes. It's the DK actually that's going to come out for Alliance
versus the Timber.
For EG, do they still need theoretically? They have Sumail probably playing the Timber, and then of course Universe playing the Nature's Prophet. So it's actually going to be, I'd imagine, a Zai hero, unless they play this very weird and like do a jungle.
Probably the most popular support that's left, or port position that's left is Mirana. I think it might be a little greedy. They already have 3 farming cores. So other Zai heroes, what's like kind of a utility support that Zai likes to play?
He could just go in that crit roll and go for something like a Riki or
Zai Enigma.
Maybe that. I mean, I just don't know if he plays Earth Spirit or Elder Titan. I think he plays Elder Titan, I believe.
Elder Titan was first phase banned, yeah.
I mean, they've played that a fair bit in this tournament already. So Earth Spirit it kind of fits that mold a little bit.
They need...
But again,
I feel like they're still lacking on lockdown. That's my big concern.
Tide Hunter.
Tide.
Wow.
So support NP. Okay, so
it's either that or it's a support Tide, I would imagine.
Yes. Okay, so they are. I mean, I mentioned it early in the draft. It could be like a different position for the NP, safe lane NP, jungle NP.
Yeah, you're right. It is. It's a support. That's what I was mentioning. You and I were both mentioning this. We said it could be a jungle and Nature's Prophet or a support Nature's Prophet.
I didn't really think it would be, but then again, EG don't run NP, so you don't really know how they play it.
This is kind of interesting to me. I mean, like I'm curious to wonder what the build is in terms of not itemization, but your skill build. I don't know what you go for. I don't know how you get your farm. You could jungle theoretically. I mean, I'm sure it's fine.
He's probably jungling at the start. Either that or he's going offlane and Universe is jungling.
Or do you just like get treants and get clarities and I don't know.
Either that or Zai could go offlane and maybe Universe Iron Talon jungles. I think both are possible.
Yeah, that's fine
too. But Tide is good against Brood, so now EG have 2 heroes that lane well against the Brood Mother, Timbersaw and Tide.
So you just have to find that matchup, which is exactly what we were talking about. Like one way or another, they're going to try to find this matchup, and one way or another, Alliance will probably try to dodge it. So
yeah, dodging gets difficult when 2 of the enemy cores are good against your Brood Mother.
Yeah, we'll see how things shape up as we jump into the game now. Ake will TP in immediately, smoked up, ready to go, and he's going to try to find a way to place this, either a sentry or observer ward down. Probably an observer ward down in the river towards that Roach Pit. It looks like he's going to do it towards the tier 1 tower bottom, so he has vision of who's going down to that bottom lane and who is going to be maybe facing the Brood Mother, as it's actually loaded down to that bottom lane.
Oh, Peter.
Another game of casting flow lost. God. Autocast.
He knows how to entertain his fans.
He's not wrong. You can autocast it, but I'm sure that's probably not what you want to do in a $20 million tournament.
The real joy in playing Ogre is hitting people with your club.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fun hero. I don't know. Maybe, I guess when you play it so much, you probably start getting them to it.
You just win lace, run around,
30 seconds.
right-click people. feel good about your life.
Get an Orb of Venom. Really spice up your life if you're ogre. But
that might be a little too much Sriracha mod. I'm not sure I can handle that. So looking at the lanes, Fear is going to go mid as the Drow Ranger. Timbersaw will be in the side lane, so Sumel's going there, and it looks like it'll be an off-lane Tide. So unless there's a mid Brood, which there's not, they're going to get a decent matchup versus the Brood Mother.
It looks like it's going to be Sumel for now.
I'm not sure how much this Brood's going to be able to do this game.
The battle begins.
It is mid-Fear Drow Ranger, so, you know.
And the thing
fine.
is, NP can just basically ignore the Brood and not be in the lane. PPD will be that sacrificial 6th position support. And Brood is not... If Brood is hunting Nature's Prophet this deep in the jungle, he's not spending any time in the lane.
And he went null tally and double clarity for Zai. That's crazy.
This is maximizing your precision aura efficiency. I don't think
so much damage. 71 actually is going to be the damage that he's dealing in this game.
I don't think he would have gone this build unless there was a Drow in the game.
I mean, I don't even think they would have picked Furion had there not been a Drow available for them, or at least they wouldn't have put him in the support position.
Right.
I imagine. This mid lane is probably the most interesting lane due to, of course, a 2v2 essentially, and PPD with Brain Sap can do some damage. Fear obviously very squishy, not much regen, also missing out on his last hits early on in the game.
The one lane that's going to be really bad for EG is the off lane. Skywrath Mage just destroys Tidehunter early. Doesn't care about your Kraken Shell or your Anchor Smash. He's got high base move speed, so you can't even really get in there to Anchor Smash him in the first place if he plays it correctly. He can go back to the jungle, but he hasn't itemized for it. No Stout Shield, no Iron Talon build.
You have to share the jungle as well, except you have the hard camp that you can go to on the secret shop side.
So at some point, EG will probably have to make a lane adjustment where they give the Tide a little more farm, send the Timber off lane, but Universe will have a really shitty laning stage.
Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. Ake has 2 clarities currently. He'll use one of them now, so he has plenty of mana regeneration.
No, you bastard.
We'll see how things turn out. Top lane, Bulldog, of course, is actually getting good farm, all things considered. Sumel, the same. Mid lane, of course, the Ignite coming out for PBD, just trying to harass him down. But Fear starting to catch up. He had kind of a rough start, but now sitting to 4 last hits, and he just needs a little bit more spacing, getting experience, and obviously getting items as well.
They're going on Universe bottom, though. This could be the first blood. Mana for that Arcane Bolt coming in very soon.
Very fire, but it's the Arcane Bolt that will do the job for Ake as he's out of clarities now, but with that last clarity, he's able to secure the kill. That's very important. Universe will see if he heads back down bottom or maybe to a side lane to the jungle. We'll see. It looks like without the money for an Iron Talon, he'll head to the bottom lane and try to endure more punishment as he gets last hits.
EGM getting a little bottle action here, and he's going to grab a Haster and Mod. Haste on Ogre is nothing to sneeze at. They could honestly run somebody down mid if the sleep has already been used. Yeah, but he's actually looking for a courier snipe, I think.
He could go behind and look for the courier. I think they need it.
No dire
There's
vision.
another Wraith Band coming out. They don't know that, obviously.
Oh, they see the bottled Haster now, so the ambush will not happen.
PPD was looking for the rune he's like, well, I'm a little late, but I'll just see if it was taken or not. And of course it was. And looking at the Furion, he actually gets the Blightstone very early on, another good item to pick up early on into the game. And so that's the thing for EG. They might be in trouble in some of these lanes like bottom, but they can even it up by TPing in a hero.
Dude, he's going to hit so hard. Yeah. Ake has 0 base armor.
Yeah.
I think one Sprout and auto attacks just almost straight up almost kills Ake from full HP. He might actually be able to do it.
Almost a fan of Treads this game because you already have enough damage.
Yeah, Treads are phase boots. It's the Bone 7 build, Mod. It's coming back.
Double null tally.
People have been talking about bringing Speed Gaming back, bringing Cloud9 back. Meanwhile, though, they move on mid.
Custom shot, Arcane Bolt, Ignite as well. There's going to be the Nightmare to save him for the time being. You're still taking a lot of damage, but no fall. Oh, look at that damage, like you talked about. No armor, and Zai just brings him down.
That's before the next null tally comes in.
God. All right, well, that's that. That's Zai. If he can continue to do that, he's going to have a stellar time. He purchases up another item. I believe it's a stick, probably.
He's already level 4.5. It's not even 4 minutes in.
Null Tally Raindrop is what he's got right now, so he'll even have a bit of mana regeneration, which...
This is going to be like a one-position prop at the rate he's going.
Yeah, I think so. But again, that's the trade-off, because Universe is getting no farm down bottom. He's got 2 last hits, and he's only level 2.
The thing is, the plan for EG is the Nature's Prophet is going to start moving around and creating space once he hits level, 6 to 7 or so. He'll be taking towers. Then they'll just give the Tide a safer lane or let him go to the jungle. And Universe will be allowed to catch up if they don't put pressure elsewhere and force him to come to fight. So Alliance will have to really take advantage of that window. But if they don't, EG walk into the mid game with a quad core with a Broodmother who has plenty of heroes to deal with her in fights.
Oh, TP bottom, they're looking for Ake. Again, the concussion shot will come out. The Stormhammer is there, but the Sprout is up, and Ake will try to eat his way through. He will survive. The war cry comes out, and now Zai's in trouble. And actually, Loda's getting turned down here, but that should be the end of it. And again, lucky to have at least a Tango there to eat his way out for Skywrath Mage. It was very close for him to going down. Like you said, it's that war cry helping again.
Yeah, Zai is spending some time here coming to fights, so that's good news for Alliance. He's not purely AFK jungling and maximizing his own farm. They're farming well in the Sven as well as the Broodmother. I like the way Bulldog is playing this lane. He's mostly skipping the creep wave against Sumail. He's not actually trying to come to fights. PPD. Well, suicide to Roshan. Looks like he already spent his gold, so just wants that free TP. But yeah, I don't think it's a great Brood game later on. Conceptually, there's just a lot of ways to deal with him. NP can gank him anywhere, kind of like the Bat Rider. And you've got tons of ways to clear the spider lane, so... Definitely Alliance for me, who need to get more out of their other cores, and
their
need to create
phase
space now.
is actually going so well. Fear is actually getting out CS'd by S4. You have top lane where Bulldog is out CSing Sumail currently.
And that's against the Drow.
Yeah, I mean, every single lane is going Alliance's way. Despite them losing a hero, First Blood going the way of EG, that doesn't really matter. Zai needs to have more of an impact, and we'll see what he does. He's picked up as
They want Fear mid, and not quite yet.
Ignite, he's got Boots of Speed, no treads. Fear will survive for the time being. Obviously very squishy, very susceptible to ganks on that Drow Ranger. EGM will pick up another haste rune, which is kind of insane.
All right, EGM, calm down. You're not supposed to be S4.
He's taking over that role for him because S4's too busy just getting last hits in the lane. Understandably so.
Since when does Dragon Knight have this good of a lane?
I guess since he's against the Drow.
Yeah, this is very matchup wise, it's actually decent with the Dragon's Blood and the fact that EGM's been giving him so much help. But yeah, normally Dragon Knight loses his lane and makes up for it elsewhere. But yeah, if he's winning his lane mod, that's
a very
concern.
Good sign for Alliance, very bad sign for EG and how they're going to move forward through this game. I mean, Fear. You have really high base damage, or not even, you have really high base damage later, but I'll hold that thought. Universe is in trouble. Ancient Seal down bottom. They've used the God Strength. The TV's coming through. They're looking for a Sprout again. They'll find Ake. They'll eat their way through, this time from Loda using the Quelling Blade. Brain Sap's not enough. They just cannot chase him down. With Boots and Warcry, he is very fast.
Look at Loda. Such a team player here. Saving the Warcry and even leveling the Warcry up over the cleave.
Yeah,
that is a very unusual adjustment. You almost always see Spens max cleave first, focus on ancient stacks, even if they don't get a Dominator. One of the games yesterday you and I were casting, there was an Armlet Rush, which is the same build, but this is the Drow counter for Alliance. It's as well as just countering this incredibly scary Nature's Prophet. But hey, you can't Warcry your towers, and he is going to be quickly bringing one down in the bottom lane. S4 looking to do the same mid.
They could TP in with the Ake Skywrath Mage, but that's it right now. They should lose this tier 1 tower bottom, but there's the Nightmare mid as EGM and S4 go toe-to-toe. It'll be a trade, and I think the more important tower is Alliance getting the tier 1 tower mid.
It's definitely the more important tower, Mott, and they're looking for something in the mid lane. Can they get in range of Fear? Bulldog joins the fray. This is a very nice move by the Broodmother. Generally, you don't see this move until the tier 1s fall on top. Bulldog may decide to return to pressuring that lane. Sumail has done a good job of keeping this tower healthy. Only about 400 damage done so far.
And for now, Zai and EG's Universe will head down bottom looking for Loda this time. Warcry will go again. This time to Gush up. Quelling Blade immediately. Good Treant spawn to body block him, and he's doing it beautifully, but Zai, it's just not enough damage between the two of them. They need more lockdown, and they don't. All they have is Nightmare to set things up like that, and that's the only disable they have until they get Ravage, and that is it.
Yeah, and the Fiend Strip, which is still a bit of a ways off for Peter.
Yeah. So again, this early start for Alliance is looking really solid. And even with that cleave not being leveled up, the Warcry is so useful for keeping him and his allies alive.
And he's even going to get an armlet. So now you've got two cores who have insane armor. The Dragon Knight also, with the level 2 Dragon Blood, will max it before the stun and just finish leveling up the Breathe Fire. And it's not going to be easy to kill these heroes with physical damage. It really feels like Timbersaw will have to... along with the Nature's Prophet, that will be the main damage that EG bring to bear in these upcoming fights.
Yeah, and, well, Sumail, he does have good net worth. Again, Bulldog outlaning him just by sheer virtue of cutting the creep wave.
But there is a Skywrath, and there's 3 pretty good stuns. Dragon Tail, Sven stun and the Ogre stun. Alliance converging on top. They are smoked
tower,
up.
but they might lose here because there's the Ancient Seal on one. Zai's already backed out, and Sumail is going to fall almost instantly.
Skywrath just destroys Timbersaw.
Oh, they killed Zai as well. He just got caught by Bulldog on the backside, flanking through, and that is plenty of damage when he pops the Insatiable Hunger. That's 2 dead for a tier 1 tower trade, and I'm sure that's not worth it for EG.
Alliance doing a really good job at collapsing on the top lane. Now they transition into a tower push. They are going to hold the mid lane. Fear will be denied his split push. What's scary for EG right now is S4 will likely get his first initiation item soon, either a Blink Dagger or Shadow Blade.
He's about to have it.
And if he wants a Blink, he does almost have it now. And once he gets that, can't really split push as a Drow Ranger. Even a Nature's Prophet will have to be careful. And if that Blink Dragon Tail leads into an Arcane Seal, Sumail's gonna die. So.
Yeah, we've seen Blink Dragon Tail do work the games we've casted so far with DK in it.
And, Ancient Seal, sorry.
We'll see how things turn out. Again, I liked the choice of Zai picking up this Nature's Prophet, going to the jungle with the Drow Ranger Precision Aura, but it's just not doing nearly enough right now. They have the potential to come back into the game. They have a pretty good late game lineup, although they are getting suspended at DK. For now, though, it's looking troublesome as EG and Tidehunter. He's just trying to find any sort of gold at this point as he's level 7 now with Ravage up and ready. This might be where they can start doing some work. And what else is happening?
But at the same time, S4 grabs the Blink. I do want to mention that whenever you see a Nature's Prophet this early in the game cliff jungling, it's generally not a great sign for that team.
Yeah, probably not.
Zai had a really strong early impact, but consistently went for the Skywrath Mage bottom, and Tangos were always up on Ake, and then they always saved the Warcry for that gank. And as a result, they weren't able to snowball. They only got the 1 kill, and then he got shut down afterwards.
Again, it's the Kwang Blade, it's the Tangos to get out of the Sprout. They just don't have enough disables right now is the problem.
Notice even EGM's holding onto a Tango. Won't be surprised if Ake buys more or gets his own Quelling Blade. Granted, money is at a premium for him.
It's a tale of 2 stories. I mean, you have one team with great lockdown and very good early game damage, and you have another team with very good early game damage, but just no lockdown whatsoever. It's a nightmare, and again, what we talked about already is the Sprout. Or Gush, but that's really nothing.
The worry here for EG a bit is that they are letting... they may just flat out lose in a farm war. You've got a Midas already on Bulldog, closing on Echo Saber. Sven will flash farm, now has the max Great Cleave, but only for the 3 points in Warcry. And Dragon Knight's good at clearing ancient stacks and stacks in general, so I think if it comes to a farm war, very likely Alliance come out on top there.
Yeah, I think so too.
EG may, to me, they need to be finding fights with the Ravage, with the Fiend's Grip, which they have now, but although they see Loda bottom, there's 3 heroes missing, Mod. This is a risky maneuver, but they're going to go for it.
Alliance are looking for their first big fight of the game after taking that engagement top lane. Sumail might be the target, picked up his point booster as his Bloodstone recipe as well, but it might be delayed if he gets caught by S4 with a Blink
and
initiation.
He's got the Dragon Tail ready to go. He finds him.
And there's the Mystic Flare on top with the Ancient Seal, and that is a dead Timber. He dies fast. And he's dead for 42 as well. It just goes to show that Sumail was farming well, is up in experience, but he dies so quickly to Ancient Seal with any other real magic damage.
700 damage. Well, EG might have thought that they had the lane counters for a Broodmother, but Alliance, they've got the mid-game counters to completely shut down Timbersaw. You can even shut down Tidehunter. Just Ancient Seal him and then ignore him in the fights.
Yeah.
He won't be a factor.
I think you could crack and shell it off, but
only if you take the damage.
Right, exactly. That's the problem.
And Alliance are running BKB carries. Loda will eventually get a BKB. Yeah. Dragon Knight will get one.
Now, I think he's going to get Echo Saber first. I mean, he definitely should, but...
It'll be Echo likely, but then BKB coming very shortly thereafter.
You don't really want to get BKBs too early on in the game and at some points in time, but in this situation right now, Loda has farmed extraordinarily well. How nervous are you for EG at this point in time, LD? Because they're currently... right now, 3,000 gold behind.
I think I'm extremely nervous. They have no map control. Their tier 1 has fallen top, which means Brood can invade the jungle. There's also aggressive Radiant Wards right now scouting EG's movements and rotations. Timber needs a ton of farm. Sumail has to get a Bloodstone and a Eul Scepter before he can deal with the Skywrath. Even then, there's heavy physical burst damage later on to control him. So Nature's Prophet then split pushing becomes the ideal solution, but the issue is you've got a Blink Dragon Knight, so he can just catch Zai and punish him, which is why we see Zai cliff juggling. EG are very limited in terms of options overall this game, and I think Alliance are... It's even more than the gold advantage. They're farther ahead than it seems. The way back in for EG is finding a really good team fight with Ravage. do that, you'd like to have vision, which they have a decent amount of, and you need to get the jump, but they don't have a blink on Tide, so they may have to go for a bait play, try to convince Alliance to come in too deep, and here's that opportunity, Mott. They're sieging.
They're going to go for it. Universe smoke will break now. They'll back up seeing the Tidehunter under the tower. They want to be careful. They're going to TP away. No, Fear has been caught, and they will find the stun with S4. There's the Stormhammer. Fear will immediately die. He was behind enemy lines.
Bulldog looking to collapse on the tower.
They should get this. EG should back up. I don't think you could contest this 4 versus 5,
Oh,
even with Ravage.
There they go.
S4 jumps in. He finds the stun of the Universe. Ravage available. They hit him onto everyone, but they just don't have the damage. The Ancient seals him on his mail. He will fall. He's dead for 10 after getting that Bloodstone, but Universe trying to TP out. I do not think he'll make it away, but he was so close. He gets the cleave off from Loda. We'll get the kill, and now PD is next. We'll end up falling. 4 kills going the way of Evil Geniuses, and S4 finds a double. Alliance, wow, do they look good. They might be in position to 2-0 this series.
They are in complete control now. Roshan is next. Alliance getting split push slightly, but it's only a Dragonlance Nature's Prophet. He might take a tier 2, but if that's the least important tier 2 in the game for Alliance, so if they want, they can potentially go Roche. Zai is expecting them to go Roche, so that's why he's split pushing, but he was wrong. There's a Dragon Tail.
They're going to try to wait. He can try to TP after this. They need more, and then EGM is here to... It says Zai can't TP anymore now. He
holds onto his Fire Blast, and he is going to get in range.
Exactly.
Great play by EGM, but I think Zai still maybe gets out Dragon Tail.
Not there in time. He had
it for like a quarter of a second.
It was very close, and that's just Zai. Lucky to be alive right now, pulling 2 of the heroes over to the top lane, at least doing something, but it's not much. I mean, at this point, after that fight, there is a 7,500 net worth advantage going the way of Alliance, and the experience is not much better either. 5,000 experience going the way of Alliance as well. So for EG, they have to find more farm. They have to find maybe a better fight, but now this is where it gets tricky, as I think Alliance, they might invest in a gem soon and just start taking over map control, as well as Roshan.
Yeah, Ravage likely to cool down before the next fight. Universe will get a mech, but the level of items coming out for Alliance is just that next tier. Loda, already Armlet, Echo Saber, and Blink. BKB almost certainly to come after this, and then how do you deal with him? Timbersaw can't kill him. Warcry means that you just shrug off any right clicks that the Drow brings to bear, and you can't even control him with the Ravage, so... Well, Mott, then you normally say, oh, we'll just sprout him. We'll just give him the Arteezy treatment, but they can't even do that because he's got a Quelling Blade.
Yeah, and
there will be no counter for Loda aside from just running the hell away.
Yep.
And that's just Loda. That's not even counting Bulldog. That's not accounting for the Dragon Knight, who also has his own armlet. Alliance are incredibly in control of this
We
game.
haven't talked much about Bulldog, but he's in the same position he was in last game. He has his Echo Saber, he's got an early Midas, he's picked up an Ogre Club for a potential BKB. The mech isn't even done yet for Universe, so if you compare offlaners, it looks awful, but yeah, this is the biggest problem right now, is that even without Armlet, if they're going just on S4, guess what? He's got Dragon's Blood as well as an Armlet. Everyone is so tanky. They really can't bring anybody down with his actual physical damage from EG, but they'll try.
They're smoked, but this is right before the mech timing.
Are they going to head Roche?
It's a really awkward time for EG
If they
to
go
take a
Roche,
fight.
it's kind of obvious, I think, for Alliance to scout that out.
And Alliance already have a ward near the pit. If anyone from EG allows the smoke to break, it will be scouted anyway. I don't think EG can try for a Roshan play. That's too risky. There's always Spiderling scouting, and there's a web near the pit.
Like he's setting in one now. He'll continue to do this. Bulldog being very diligent with, of course, his broodlings, and that's great. So it's just back to farming. That I don't know what that smoke accomplished. I don't think they got any wards down for EG, unfortunately, and that's just the story of this game right now, isn't it, LD?
Meanwhile, Alliance rushing in. They've scouted out Universe. Can they force out that Ravage? If not, he may just get solo killed by S4 with right clicks, bringing him down quickly.
They won't dive. They have a severe advantage, a distinct advantage, but they won't die.
Brood has BKB already, so she is also essentially invulnerable in these fights.
But that's this is another issue. I mean, Alliance
going in.
They're just going to jump. It's stun on it too. Ravage will come out, but Sumail, Mystic Flare coming in. He's about to fall, and will. Zai will TP, but it's already too late as EG are getting routed, LD.
They have no chance. Completely forced back. Bulldog lane into Universe. Gets up the Echo Saber proc. A blink forward on his Zai. 4, make it 5. EG get taken out.
It's GG. My God.
Oh, Loda ends it with an ultra kill, and with this win, Alliance have scrapped and clawed their way back from a terrible day one start. I think it was 2 and 4. It was almost worse. And they are in the upper bracket, TNC, regardless of the result in the game that they were previously playing. It's not going to matter. such a great showing by TNC, but still down to the lower bracket they go. So in the end, OG, EG, and Wings pull it out. Probably the favorites coming into this group. Maybe biggest surprises, probably Na'Vi before the group stage started. LGD after day one, they looked really good, taking game off OG. But Mott, I don't think many people had Alliance in their top 4. They looked very shaky coming into this event.
Alliance is always just that wild card, that question mark. They perform great at some events, and other events they just can't seem to do well. Manila was a prime example of how, you know, you thought they might be doing well, but they were eliminated after one. They won one best of one against Beneski, and that's as far as they went. But now they are prime position to get into the upper bracket. They're there now, and we'll see who they play up against. This is great stuff in Alliance off the back of an amazing game one, and they played well in both games, but that game one victory they had to show their stuff, and they did. Wow.
I can't believe EG lost that game. Demon has to be so insane. Sad right now. He's like, Fear, my friend. Clinton, how could you let me down like that? I thought we were homies.
There are people that are saying, when did EG throw last? I don't even think there's a throw. That's just